Alright everyone, what's good? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you about Samsung DeX and how you can use it on your S25 Ultra and also some tips and tricks. So let's get into it. First things first, Samsung DeX, you can use it wirelessly or wired. If you have a Samsung TV, then you can definitely cast it to that TV. So if you go to your quick toggles, you see Samsung DeX right here. You can tap that and then you'll be able to find your smart TV. If you can't do that, you can use Samsung DeX with the wire. I'm actually going to connect my phone to this ultra wide screen and show you what Samsung DeX looks like and what it's all about. All right, so cable going in. All right, so we're in Samsung DeX. So before I get into anything, the cool thing about Samsung DeX on these phones is that you can use the phone itself as a trackpad, and it's very smooth and responsive. It's definitely more responsive than any other trackpad or mouse that you can use with Samsung DeX. It just works very smooth. As you can see, I'm moving the cursor around in the background, and you have all your gestures. You have 3-finger swipes to open up the app switcher, 2-finger swipes to scroll, then you can pinch to zoom or zoom out in your other apps, and just different things. So Samsung DeX on these phones, even without a keyboard and a mouse, is still very functionable. You can type with the screen as well. So let's get into actually using it. So basically in Samsung DeX, it's a computer type of interface, and it's all coming from the phone itself. And in here, you can do basically whatever you want, like all the normal things you do on your phone. You can do that in Samsung DeX as well, but everything is going to be in a window just like you would with a desktop. So I can resize the windows with the mouse to any size I want. I can drag it to either side of the screen. I can drag a window to either side of the screen to snap it and then quickly have a split screen session. And then I can also adjust the sizes very quickly and dynamically. And then I can open up another window, move it to the top corner, move this one to the bottom corner. And you can have split screens like that as well, 4 corners of the screen. Then you can also just drag it to the top for a full screen look. So it's basically like Windows, kind of, with the basic functionality. You have your right clicks with the mouse and you see all the details or whatever you need to do. You can pin your icons to your taskbar. So I have different icons pinned that I use frequently. So I have my video editor, LumaFusion, which works pretty well when it works. But then this app itself is just kind of buggy, so it definitely has issues. And I actually have another video coming out on how to optimize this app to make it run better. So stay tuned for that. Sometimes I literally video edit off of my phone in LumaFusion on a desktop experience. So it's pretty cool with the mouse and keyboard. And yeah, so Samsung DeX, you can literally get work done. So you can go to your internet browser and you can use full desktop sites like Microsoft Word and Google Docs and all those things. You can use the full desktop websites for those things and they work fine. Browser applications work as good as you would expect. You might have some compatibility issues here and there depending on what browser you're using, but for the most part, you can definitely use your phone and work off of it. Then obviously you can have a media experience, watch videos, you could play games with a controller, like this Bluetooth controller right here. I can connect it to my phone and play games, certain games like Minecraft, Diablo. Those games, they will work on this external screen through my device, and when it's plugged in with a wire like this, you don't really have too much delay, so it's actually a really good experience. Some apps, as you can see, like YouTube, don't really optimize well for a bigger screen, but I mean, when you full screen the video, it's a fine experience. There is some kind of weird banding. I've seen this on many different displays when I use Samsung DeX, but it's not enough to hinder me, and I actually can, watch videos and movies and play games without any issues. Like the actual picture itself is fine. But yeah, as far as performance, Samsung DeX is just amazing. Like I don't really have stutters, I don't really have slowdowns. Everything just works. When you need to use your fingerprint for something like Phantom Wallet or whatever, you can do that on the phone screen and it will work. And so some tips for Samsung DeX and why you would use this. For certain apps, like let's say the Microsoft Suite or the Google Suite, I would recommend using the browser apps instead of the Android apps because the browser apps have more features. They're more like closer to the desktop apps. So let's go to Google and show you what I'm talking about. So now I have, the full Google Docs experience right here. And so like I can literally make a Google Doc. So boom, and now let's change it to a title. You can change the color of it to like blue or something like that, and boom, very good experience. You can get real work done. You have access to your calendar. As you can see, it pops up just like it would on the computer. Your notes, your tasks, all those things. Like it's a very good experience. And then you can even video call for this using the camera built into your phone. So you see the camera right there is working in the corner. It's actually using my phone's camera to video call. So if I have my phone propped like a webcam, then I can video call while working in the Google Suite. So Samsung DeX is very capable in that sense. I can hang up and done. Yeah, so any apps that have a web browser app or version, a web app, then I recommend you use that instead of the Android versions, because the Android versions are going to be limited. Some other tips for Samsung DeX. So go to settings, go to DeX. You can adjust the font size. You can adjust the screen zoom. So on bigger screens, like on your TV, you might want to just make the screen zoom a little bit bigger so you can see. For the resolution, you can actually go up to 4K or whatever your screen is. But to enable that, you got to go to Good Lock. So if you download Good Lock and then access it, you can go to I Love Samsung DeX, enable high resolution, run many apps at a time as well, more than 5 apps at a time. And auto open last app, that's something that I like. You might not like it, but I like that. And then I can continue my work on the external screen. So you can adjust your settings in Samsung DeX. You can even use the S Pen as a mouse. And then you have trackpad and mouse settings. So this is what I was talking about in another video, but you can basically flow your cursor between your phone and Samsung DeX. So if I put the phone is from the right side, then I can control my phone with the same mouse, my phone screen. So this is effectively a second screen in Samsung DeX. So you can have two monitors basically, and this can be for less important things like YouTube videos, etc. And then your big screen can be for your main work. So that's a cool feature that I recommend using. When you have touchpad gestures, you can even customize them a little bit. So tap with 3 fingers for back or view notifications, things like that. Tap with 4 fingers. You can customize those gestures with the trackpad, built-in one, or even I use the Apple Magic Trackpad and it works well in Samsung DeX as well. And then I would recommend adjusting your mouse speed, your pointer speed, because sometimes it's too slow or sometimes it's too fast. So definitely get that adjusted when you start this. And then you can even customize these buttons. So additional button 1, I have it set as back. So that is really cool, making use of this button just like I do on the computer. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the experience. Like Samsung DeX enables you to essentially get real work done or essentially have a desktop experience from your phone. Like it's pretty crazy what you can do. And like some apps do scale weirdly, but like for the most part, a lot of apps work fine and you can resize them anyways in Samsung DeX, like to whatever size you want, and figure out what works best for your workflow or whatever app you're viewing. Like resize this very quickly. But yeah, that's basically the experience in Samsung DeX. Desktop interface from your phone, play games, get work done, video edit, etc. View photos in your gallery. So many things you can do. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on Samsung DeX and what you might use it for, what you do use it for, or if you think it's just a useless feature. This is one of the cool things about Samsung phones that I love and I even use very often. So yeah, until the next video though, we are out. Peace. Just disconnect it and boom, you can continue using your phone like normal. So sick.